I have enough of that when I'm a kid. Crummy tenements, no food, no
Oh,
clothes.
save it for the jury, Marty. Who do you think you're kidding? I was brought up in the district, too. I've heard that dialogue from you pool room hotshots ever since I was 10 years old. Get hip. Only suckers work. Don't be a square. Stay with the smart money. Let the old man get the calluses digging the ditches. No food, no clothes, crummy tenements. You're breaking my heart, Marty.
Welcome to Kermode Uncut. I want to talk to you about the subject of hidden or undiscovered gems. There is a re-release this week of a 1948 Robert Siodmak film called Cry of the City. It's the centerpiece of a season of Robert Siodmak films that's running at the BFI South Bank through April and May. And I hadn't seen Cry of the City before. So I read a little bit about it. I saw a wonderful piece by Jeff Andrew, who I think is a terrific film writer. He was also very important to me as a film editor at Time Out. I learned an awful lot from him. And he wrote a very good piece about Cry of the City in which he talks about it being a classic awaiting rediscovery. He flags up the steely realism enhanced by flourishes of noir stylization and a glorious gallery of shady figures. Now, that sounded intriguing. Then I watched the trailer, and that really got me excited.
The story of the ruthless killer, known as Martin Rome, is the most penetrating cry ever to rise from the sidewalks of the world's greatest city, New York. Thousands of readers of this best-selling novel, titled The Chair for Martin Rome, were thrilled by this shocking story of conflict between law and lawlessness. Now all of its stirring scenes are reproduced on the screen in Cry of the City, every one of them filmed in its actual locale.
Well, I don't know about you, but I saw that trailer and I was absolutely sold. And I checked out the movie, and the movie didn't let me down at all. It's a terrific piece of work. There are obvious comparisons with things like Angels with Dirty Faces, the story of two people growing up, ending up different sides of the tracks. And many people have suggested that the film throws forward to the work of Martin Scorsese because of its location work, those Little Italy films that he made. I mean, interestingly enough, Robert Siodmak apparently didn't like doing location work very much. What he liked was the safety of studios. So I liked the film very much, and it started to worry me that I hadn't seen it before and really didn't know much about it, because it comes in the period when the director was making some of his most famous work. I mean, think about it. Phantom Lady, 1944, earns him this reputation as the new Hitchcock. Spiral Staircase, 1945. Killers, 46. Crisscross is 49. So it's bang in the middle of that period when he was really making waves. And it reminded me of a discussion which comes up time and time again between critics, which is, what's the film that you haven't seen, that you should have seen, that you're most embarrassed to admit having not seen? This actually kind of has its roots in an old academic game. I've heard stories about professors, English professors, doing a kind of dare game. Name the book that you haven't read. So if somebody who's doing a Jane Austen course will fess up to the fact that they've never read Emma, or somebody who's doing a course on Shakespeare will admit that they've never actually read Hamlet. Well, in film critic circles, the what film haven't you seen that you should have done always gets very varied responses. For me, for ages and ages, and I'm still embarrassed about this now, it was Citizen Kane. I mean, I didn't see Citizen Kane until I was in my 40s, I think. Yet I know that for ages before that, I would cite Citizen Kane in arguments because you feel like you've seen it. I mean, I've never seen Napoleon, and I've talked about Napoleon as if I have. I know that I haven't actually seen Napoleon. I've seen bits of Napoleon, but frankly, that's not the same thing. So, two things to do. Firstly, if you get a chance, go see Cry of the City. I mean, believe me, it really is worth seeing, and it is strange that it's an undiscovered gem ripe for rediscovery, as Jeff Andrew says. But secondly, and perhaps more embarrassingly, what's the film that you really think you should have seen that you're kind of embarrassed that you haven't? And can you outdo Citizen Kane? I mean, let's be clear. I have seen Citizen Kane now, but I'm 52.
Stay where you are, Tony. There won't be any shooting in this house as long as Mama's here. I'm a little disappointed in you, Marty. You're a big boy now.
Pretty funny fella. You don't think I'll shoot? Just make a move, Candela, we see.